Hey,
Live television.
You gotta love that, don't you?
No, just start again. Just start again.
My voice has broken, believe it or not. Welcome to, what are we doing? Livestream.
Yeah, Bullion Now, that's the company, and this is a live stream.
Yeah.
Well done, seamless
Quite
intro.
Popular evidence.
Professional operation.
Oh dear, sorry about that, guys. I am here, I am awake. I don't know what went wrong.
It's been a large week.
It has been a humongous week. In fact, it's been a humongous 2 weeks.
It has, yeah. All good fun though.
Yeah, poor old Ruben, we had to pump him up with an air compressor this morning. He was a bit flat and deflated. I think he's dragging his butt through to the end of the week. But, yeah, we're managing. So, who's joined us today? I got a few people.
Yeah.
Where are we from? Fanta. Got a bone to pick with you, Fanta. I noticed you're on there. Your name jumped out. So on one of the comments that he made this week on one of the videos, I can't remember which video it was, but he talked about my nose hair, which I have to admit does get out of hand every so often, according to my wife and kids. But I looked at that video. Seriously, mate. You must to be able to view my nose hair. You must have had me up on a screen like 4 meters by 3 meters. Well, you're American.
That's the problem with filming in 4K.
Yeah, people can rent out the local theatre, put up our video.
So either get yourself a smaller screen or sit a little further back, mates. Seriously, you're going to do damage to your eyes.
Another father-son live stream. Oh, isn't that nice?
I don't know. I've never seen you as my dad.
People have accused us of being brothers.
I'm obviously showing my age again. Nobby's online. Blue Banded Bees is back. There's a few of the regulars, which is fantastic to see. We're going to bounce a few things around today. So if you've got any of those short questions that they're like 1, 2, 3 word answers, put them in there, and we're going to try and batch them at some point during the live stream. And
Bit of structure.
yeah, we'll do a bit of a quick fire session where I don't know, either I'll throw them at Matt or Matt will throw them at me, and we'll just the yes nos, anything that's going to take less than 3 or 4 words, just bung them in there, and we're not ignoring them. We're going to batch them for later on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
We got any more comments or questions you want to highlight, mate, at this stage?
I'm always curious, and it's just purely out of my own interest. I like to know where people are watching from. I'm fascinated each time we hear that someone's from, particularly overseas, because you need to factor in the time difference.
Yeah.
Possibly even a day difference. It could be a different day.
Yeah, well, the
elsewhere in
Americans
the
are
world.
yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Welcome to the future.
Someone's started off, even they've acknowledged it. Lead with a strong first question. Why hasn't there been any 1 ounce gold on the site for ages, excluding locally produced?
Actually, I was going to cover this in like shop gossip or industry
can.
gossip. Can we delay this one?
We
Because
can
it's a bit of an
absolutely
extended question
We will
or
definitely
answer.
come back to that one.
George, when are you opening a Sydney office? Rubes, when are we opening the Sydney office?
Flinging that one.
Yeah. As soon as the bullet train comes into effect.
It's something we'd like to do. It's just something that isn't happening at the moment. We're trying to get Melbourne under control.
We are. We've got to look. In all seriousness, we are looking at other places, but we're upgrading, and I've been saying this for months. Well, I think we're 10 or 11 months now into a 3-month upgrade of our back-end systems that will allow us to expand out. And we've got to get that under control first. So it will happen, but just won't happen overnight, as they say.
And we need Tassie as well, so
Yeah.
Tassie then Sydney maybe.
And Geelong.
And Adelaide. Yeah.
Adelaide,
There's a
Sunshine
bit,
Coast, everyone's putting
Yeah.
in where they
Yeah,
I reckon.
I need one in Perth too.
I keep hearing about Texas as well, around the traps.
I think there's other reasons that certain people want the Texas one happening.
There's one good question here from Wombat. Why does everyone rave on about 90%, so like some of your pre-decimal stuff on that, but then hate on Sterling and 925? So it's kind of this, hey, we love the pre-decimal, it's great, it's got all these benefits, but then you start looking at Sterling coins and it's, I don't want to stack them.
I'm not a big fan of the 90%.
Yeah, me neither.
Particularly the 50%, I'm really not a fan of.
Yeah, for stacking purposes, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
It just sort of complicates. Whenever if you're so inclined and you keep a record, like some people maintain an Excel spreadsheet with everything they've bought and what price at and work out their average buy-in price, you throw 50% around the mix, the whole thing, it just gets, and you're also not working in, it is interesting because we do use troy ounces in this industry, so it's not for most people, a conventional ounce of 28 grams, it's 31.1. You're also then not using ounces either, because a lot of that stuff is, 10 grams, 8 grams.
Yeah,
it certainly gets very complicated very quickly.
It does. And you're stacking other rubbish. It's not necessarily rubbish.
Geez, that's a bit strong language.
Yeah. Well, you're not stacking the precious metal, although having said that, your nickel and that is going through the roof at the moment. So there's every chance that, if you're stacking copper as part of it, it's still worth something. But to me, it's hard enough to find space to stack silver because it's so bulky without having particularly, like I said, the 50% where you're only stacking half the silver you thought you were with the space you're taking up. So
absolutely.
Yeah, look, I can't actually give you a concise answer as to why some people prefer it. It doesn't really, in my opinion, it doesn't really count in Australia. We don't have the quote-unquote junk silver that they have in the States. It's a little bit of a different story because their junk silver is still part of their circulation over there.
Yep.
So, you can sort through your quarters and
dimes, nickels.
Yeah, well, not nickels because they're
not
made of nickel.
Yeah, fair shake.
And, your dimes and that sort of stuff. And you can actually pull out, they've...
Constitutional.
Yeah, I'm struggling with their face value. So a quarter's 25 cents. So you might have pulled out a 25-cent coin, but it might have, 50 cents worth of silver in it.
So we noodle coloured $2 coins. They noodle silver.
Yeah.
And they get their rolls.
Yeah.
A bit more exciting.
So, you a noodler?
Not really. I have been known to noodle on occasion, but it's certainly not
What
been...
is noodling for those?
Wow! Funny you should ask, Ruben. So, noodling is the process of acquiring generally bank rolls from a bank and going through them and plucking out anything that has a value greater than the face value. So, for a lot of the US viewers, they'll be familiar with that process of looking for the old silver content. In Australia, it's typically people keeping an eye out for the coloured $2 coins that fetch a little bit of a collector's premium.
Yeah.
So, good fun, something to do on a rainy day that won't cost you anything other than your time.
Yeah.
So, good bit of fun.
Oddjob makes a comment there that's very valid. So pre-decimal coins move fast in the secondary market. They absolutely do, thank you. They are very, very popular pretty much everywhere in the world. Any of that pre-decimal, constitutional sort of stuff. People look, the problem is it moves into two different markets. From a stacker's perspective, I don't like it because of, like I said, it takes up too much room. It can incur GST in this country, so that's another complication on it. It's that type of stuff. As a coin collector, numismatic, geek, I love it because it comes back to the history of the coin and wow, look what it used to be and what they used to do and the patterns they used to put on it and the inaccuracy of the stamps on it and all that stuff that I just really geeks me out and I really like it.
Yeah, I need a piece of paper. I need to do a visual. Like in my mind, I have a visual representation of how it can be perceived as falling through the gaps, or you can even just do it on a linear, like one end and the other end of the spectrum. You have the bullion community that are exclusively interested in weight and purity. Purity being bullion grade metals, as in 4/9 silver or gold or whatever it may be. And then you have the numismatic community that are predominantly all about condition. So they want high grade, limited mintages and things like that. And somehow along the lines, it gets a bad rap on both ends. But in doing so, it does form a bit of a bridge between the two communities. So
it does.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I like that one. Coming out with a bang. Oh, there's a good question here that was that we kicked around earlier.
Yeah.
Have you added anything to your stack?
Yeah. What have you guys bought for your stack this week?
Yep.
maybe a trophy piece, maybe not. Maybe just something a bit different or a bit quirky or something you've been chasing for a while. Just let us know in the comments and we'll have a bit of a yarn. You added anything to your stack this week?
I have actually. Yeah. I got a couple of sovereigns.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. Because, and we discussed this on the blower.
I vaguely remember you're right if I pick up the sovs, and I went, yeah. And that was about the whole conversation.
I think it's rare. The nature of these live streams is quite funny because we have such lengthy back and forth. But throughout the week, I was laughing with Maria, my fiance, about this. I said, I don't think a conversation with Michael ever exceeds 30 seconds. If I look at my phone log, it's very... Yeah, here's
what I
the
need.
need to know, and then I'm out of there. It's nice and efficient. But the 2012 Sovereign, which I really liked, it was just the Bullion one from the Royal Mint.
Yep.
I've said this in the past. Anytime the Royal Mint adjusted the design of the Sovereign, so they took
sacrilege,
a new take on the St. George and the Dragon design. I really liked that, particularly the 2012. It was like a bit more of a, I want to say almost like a cartoony stylized take on the St. George slaying the dragon, and strikes a chord with me, so I love it.
So you grabbed
two
of them?
Full and a half. So
oh wow!
Yep.
So you got the whole set. Well,
not,
did they do
possibly
a
did a
double
quarter, and probably I don't know. Someone will let us know. But
I love those bigger size sovs. I reckon they should do those more often.
Yeah,
because they only do them every so often, don't they?
And they look really good. Yeah.
Is it a 5 sov?
Yeah, it's a 5 pound.
Yeah,
or like 5 sovereign piece. Yeah.
I love that. Like
yeah.
Royal Mint, if you're watching, churn out a couple more of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they're pearlers.
Yep.
So you're on a winner with that one.
And change up the design again.
I'm
getting a bit of. It's justified. It's warranted feedback on. Matt always wanted to change designs, but I do still love the base designs. I do have a passion for the classics, but I just like a bit of extra something from time to time.
You guys are going to have to go rapid fire reading through everyone's...
look at
Look at that. People have really been stacking up this week. Bitcoin coins. So a few people said that. What else we got here? Somebody picked up a 2012 Cook in the 10 ounce. The 10 ounce is my favourite size. They really are.
Yeah.
Canadian silver dollars, mate. You can't go past the Canadians. Opal Mouse. Oh, what a coin.
Jeez, yeah, it's tough to find.
Harrington. Somebody picked up. Actually, we've got to have a yarn about Harrington.
Yeah.
So let us know, Smithy, if it was a new or an old. Actually, I already know the answer to this one because I talked to Smithy earlier this week on the horn. It's one of the newer ones, which we're going to talk about later. Somebody picked up this year's Silver Swan.
Beautiful.
So that's not bad. Tuberoos and a silver kilo bar. Always good to get some weight. Again, the Bitcoins. There's a question from Odd Job there, so we might have to come back to that one. Half an ounce of gold kangaroo. Hey, we've got gold kangas, 1 ounce back in stock. Oh, man.
Right on time.
So glad to see them. Far out. We had a massive back order of those.
Yeah.
Added a 5 ounce high relief 2022 wedge tail. May flip it, not sure it's pretty. We've had this conversation before.
We have, and I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised, in fact. This was
It's the eagle head.
Yeah, like the profile.
Yeah, it's very American. I don't like it in the
swamp. Why they often do well.
But some of I know it's been done by
John McCanty.
Thank you, by John McCanty, who's obviously American. I normally really like his designs. This one, in the smaller sizes, to me it missed the mark. But in the 5 ounce, it really pops out.
Yeah.
Particularly in that high relief kind of range.
Yep.
So,
yeah, a lot of nice detail on that.
What do we got there? So a kilo tigers, silver swans. People have been stocking up. It's good to see.
Russian wire coins from Tsar Ivan IV.
Wow.
15 of them.
1922 piece dollars and 3 generic bullion coins in the last week.
Nice.
Getting an old Cuban coin on Monday. I don't know much about the Cuban coins.
Me neither.
So,
Cuban coins,
should poke around with that. So, yeah, good stuff.
Michael Carroll's put his list there of where he reckons cast bars minted and coins fit into it. Cast bars first, then minted, then coins.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love how everyone has those items in a different order.
Yeah.
There was a question back there. So this is from Odd Job. So with base metals content making Australian 20-piece worth about 29 cents, would you have to pay GST if you started trading current Aus coins on metal value? Oh, I really don't want to answer that question, mate. I actually don't know.
Not to say it.
Yeah. Oh no, look, I like the hard questions. I like it when people pitch the awkward ones at us because it makes us think. And we try and be as open and as honest as we can be, subject to commercial confidentialities, of course. But you know, I'm quite happy for people to ask the sticky questions. I actually don't know, Odd Job. I'd have to think about that one. With precious metals, we don't, if it's pure and it's stamped pure, has a weight on it, that type of thing, it becomes investment grade. I actually don't know.
I'll shoot from the hip and give a speculative. My thought would be yes, because much in the same way as you sell a coloured $2 coin, like that would have GST.
Yeah,
so
right.
Where the value is coming from, whether it be intrinsic or collectible, I wouldn't have thought would have a bearing on the GST component.
Yeah, but it's an investment grade. It's not a proof coin. So your argument with proof coins, like platinum or gold or anything like that, is that they've now been taken. They're no longer a bullion coin.
Yeah,
they're now a proof coin. They've been added to, polished. There's usually packaging with them, that sort of stuff. This is just a plain 20-cent piece.
Yep.
We're trading it on metal value, so it's on its investment grade. It's not a proof,
So it's then still
but it's coloured. It's linked to spot. So
But
all these things actually go in its favour.
Oh, this is an interesting one, yeah.
But my counter argument would be, if we're trading florins or anything like that, which we have to charge GST on,
yeah, and that's
they're done on base value, like on base metal value. So, and we have to charge GST on those. So
because it's not the raw. Yeah, it's I'm going to stand by my original answer.
I think you're right.
This is an interesting one to think. I think
but I think it's I think it's got hairs on it. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, one for a little more thought.
All right. How are you doing, mate?
Good, really good.
What's been happening in your week?
In my week, it's been a really good week. It's been quite busy. It's been we're attempting a new, somewhat more of a structured approach. But the first challenge that comes to mind has been the difficulties that we've been having with some of the delivery time frames with Toll.
Oh, outgoings. Yep.
Yeah. We'll address incoming stock at a later stage in the program.
Yeah.
But outgoings has been a little bit of a sticking point, which has been a bit of a pain because
it has.
I think that Emma and Sylvia and Bailey and all the girls at EDC do an amazing job, and it's disappointing that sometimes it could be perceived as them swinging the lead a little bit on their end. But unfortunately, when you add any additional factors to something like a delivery, you then fall at the mercy of, the delivery company. So there can be certain shortcomings from time to time that make it a bit more of a convoluted process, you might say.
I don't know how to comment on this one without getting us into hot water.
I'm trying to be super polite about it. It's not. I don't want to rant about it, but it's just been an interesting thing that I think is worth noting. We'll always do our very best wherever possible to make things as smooth and efficient as possible, but occasionally, and a little more lately than I would ideally like, ideally at zero, no issues, but there have been a few more than I guess I have seen in the past. So that's just something to be mindful of. But we are hopefully working towards solutions and better outcomes.
Yeah, we are. Look, this sounds like I've put you up to it. This is not a canned.
It's not. Yeah, it's just
whinge.
It's just a thought. You asked me about my week. On the whole, it's been.
Well, you're taking the phone call, so you've got.
That's it. Yeah.
You've got the aggros on the end going. I paid for this a week ago. Where is it?
Which is totally fair.
And,
I appreciate exactly where they're coming from. Having been a customer here prior to working here, when you place it, funnily enough, the company's called Bullion Now, which is
Yeah.
kind of when you want your bullion when you place
That's
an
actually
order.
why we named it Bullion Now, because it was the people who wanted bullion now.
Yeah.
And the trouble is we're in the bullion not quite yet at the moment.
Yeah.
And that kind of doesn't flow.
Yeah. So that's how my week's been. It's felt like bullion on the way. Which, yeah.
I like it. Yeah, look, and as spokesperson for the company, all I can do is apologise. Once it leaves our dispatch centre, it's out of our control, and unfortunately, we're hitting some issues. We're reviewing it. We're looking around for alternatives as to what we do. There's no easy answer on this, and I'll bet, and I'm not looking at the live stream comments at the moment, but I will guarantee it's filling up with, this company's great in our area, this company's great in our area, why don't you try these guys? And you're 100% right. It seems that if the contractor, and all these things seem to be contracted out, if the contractor for that company for your area is good, it's really good.
Yep.
If your contractor for your area is not on the ball, it's really bad.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it really is area by area. It's not a company by company thing.
Yep.
And I think the last couple of weeks between Emma and I, we would spend probably about half our day, pretty much every day, chasing up parcels. Where are they? Why haven't they been delivered?
Yep.
Why have they been delivered and not signed for? All those things that you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because you guys are the ones that are complaining about it, justifiably. Don't think we're not taking your complaints on board, because we absolutely are. And we're trying to do something about it, but there's no short-term fix on this one. So
Yep.
I don't want to dwell on that.
Well, that's how my week's been. How's your week been?
Well, my week has been chasing up parcels
Back at it.
because you phone me and go, what the heck, they've got this guy on the phone and he's
Yeah,
jumping
so
up and down.
There's one here I really quickly want to address there by entertain me. I don't know if you just want to read that one quickly, and it might make you feel a little bit better about our situation.
Whoop. I live 30 kilometres away from Perth. They take 3 weeks to deliver to me.
That is a little reassuring.
Well, slightly up. Yeah, no, I'll come back to that one in a minute. Changing topic slightly, there was one earlier on about the new Royal Mint. Here it isn't. It was something about the Royal Mint, the new. Here we go. G'day, guys from the UK. So, somebody from the UK watching.
Yep.
What's your thoughts, Rube? I should have directed that at Rube. Rube, somebody from the UK watching, mate. Rube loves the UK.
I do.
What's your thoughts on the new Royal Mint James Bond bar Diamonds Are Forever? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. Let's have a look. Whip it up. Give us a look.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring it up actually.
Yeah. I'm okay with I actually don't mind the bar. My problem is actually with the packaging of the bar in the silver, because they put it in the they don't put it in a case. They put it in a, what do we call that? Just a sheet of
That's cool.
heat treated plastic, and it's a pain in the backside because people don't want to order 20. They want to order 7 or 15, or so we're cutting out these things, and they're a pain in the neck. I don't mind the silver. I actually quite like the design. The gold's great because it's in a case. The silver one's a pain in the backside. Design's nice though.
It is. I think that is cool. I don't know. Can you see it if I hold this up? Ta-da.
They probably won't.
It's probably going to show up all.
Yeah, no.
After
Yeah,
the
all
live
right,
stream,
well, I tried. You can,
Google it and have a look.
Yeah,
The
that's
short
pretty
answer
cool.
is we probably won't be getting them in, unfortunately, because of the pain that they are in the silver.
Yep.
I think we've kind of made a decision we're not going to get them, but I quite like the design overall.
Yeah.
Hey Michael, why don't you see platinum cast bars? I'm guessing he means why don't we see them on the site?
No, well, just in general,
In the
we
market,
typically
yeah.
don't see like a 1 ounce cast bar.
Yeah.
We get them in gold, and so
Well,
we
see a
get
little
some
button
others-
of platinum.
Yeah, they'll be like the minted bars or something like that, but it's very very
'Cause-
rare. We just get a cast 1 ounce mint. One
One
ounce
ounce cast bar.
platinum.
Because platinum is a pain in the backside to work with. So you can't get it to run. Like gold, when you heat gold and silver and melt them, they just run. So it's no worries
Right.
at all. Platinum doesn't run.
So what do you mean? Like if I had a press and I just put
different.
No. Hold the phone. Whereas, so normally you pour it into a cast, right?
Yes.
So if you just put like heat up platinum to.
So if you did just poured this bar,
So you're saying it's not going to run into the mold, but what if you had a little press? Press it into the mold.
Doesn't work.
We need to try this. Let's get a refinery on board and let's try this out.
The way the jewelers do it, or most of the people that use platinum, is they actually mix it with. No, I can't remember.
Cobalt.
Cobalt. Yeah. Thank you. They mix it with cobalt, which actually makes it run. The problem is now you don't have pure platinum, so that's why you don't tend to get those cast bars in platinum. It's just too much of a pain in the backside to get it to run in and actually form a correct shape inside the cast, fill all the gaps, don't have bubbles everywhere, and this sort of crap. So, and to get that consistency.
I'd like to see it tried. If anyone has a home smelting kit,
oh, great.
if Bad Apple
Please
Bullion
don't
is
try this at home.
in the chat, I want to see your best platinum efforts.
Oh dear. What else have we got? Coin question for Matt. I thought the Mint was going to release the donation dollar in different years until they minted a certain amount. Is this true? Because I've only seen the 1 year.
Me too, and I was under the impression it would be 2 million per year for the next 4 or 5 years, I heard initially, but I have not seen that either. So yeah, remains to be seen.
I'm smirking slightly because Matt and I talked about the donation dollar earlier this week. What did you do with your donation dollars, mate?
I just swapped them over.
Yeah, for $1. Well, why did we swap them over for $1 each?
I ended up in a previous life when I was managing a coin shop. I had a gentleman, a really good guy actually. He was a regular noodler, and he would bring in and convert his noodled findings or lack thereof. He would just exchange them with me. He would just say, you can have these for face value, and swap them over. And it was the other day that I was looking at the bag, and I thought, I feel a bit strange hanging on to these, because the objective is to sort of donate them. And I was in a pinch and needed to get my sovereign, so I thought, well, yeah, I'll just do the same thing. I'll just pass them on. Pass them on to another collector and
donate them.
You could say I did. I didn't extract any sort of premium. I just got the face value.
It just made me laugh when Mr. Stacker here that collects all these coins because they increase in value couldn't sell his donation coins because he felt bad about it.
I had a moral dilemma. Yeah, I've got a heart, Mike.
I just thought that was hilarious. It cracked me right up.
Yeah, because you get the initial reaction of, it's a coloured coin.
Yeah, it's limited numbers.
Must have. And then I thought, what am I doing here?
Oh dear, made me chuckle. So this is from Mark Baird. Loaded question: is the Perth Mint servicing everyone else except Australia?
He did warn you by saying
yeah, I know.
Question.
Look, it's actually a really good question, but it's not an easy answer. The short answer is yes, they are supplying the rest of the world, but you've got to look at it from their perspective. And I don't look at it from their perspective, let's be clear, because I'm one of the dealers that I'm wanting them to support and supply. And I don't want to say they don't support us, because they do, and you'll see that next week. We've actually got an exclusive release with Perth Mint. We've got the Australian release part of it.
Can't talk about it yet.
Yeah, that's right. Don't ask questions because we can't. We're under
Just
embargo.
about to ask a few, get some hints.
They absolutely do support us, but you've also got to look at Perth Mint. 90+% of their business is overseas. The customers overseas spend hundreds of millions of dollars. If you're running a business and you've got a group of people that by they're probably Australia is probably 3 to 5% of Perth Mint's business. Are you going to favour them over the other 95% when the 5%, takes small transactions, like even us? I mean, we turn over millions of dollars a week with the Perth Mint, but even that would be seen as a fairly small account in the worldwide account for Perth Mint. So do you spend all those resources servicing that 3 to 5% of small customers, or do you move into, Perth Mint supply central banks and, huge guys like that. Surely you'd be looking after these guys that are spending millions and hundreds of millions of dollars with you, that you've got these big contracts with. So, yes, they do favour the overseas, but it's not as simplistic as saying, oh, that's not fair. They're Australian, they should support Australia. It's at the end of the day, the business case pushes them to actually support those overseas markets because that's what they were designed around.
Until we go and do a Bullion Now live stream from the Mint, really get on the map with them.
Well, I've suggested it a couple of times. They've nervously declined at this stage.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Matt try and lift the 1 ton coin.
You could do it at the area of the front. That's public property, right?
Yeah, look, we could. To be honest, I've actually asked to be able to interview them a couple of times, and they've turned me down.
Jeez.
So look, for good reason. Perth Mint.
They'll crack one day.
Yeah. Oh, look, they will. But to be honest, I actually feel for the guys over at Perth Mint because they've copped a bit of a hammer in these last 2 years. Some of it absolutely justified, some of it not. And I actually feel for them. So, yeah. Show us the 10-ounce gold tiger. We actually don't have any in at the moment, Blue. Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, you
Absolutely
sure?
we do.
Yeah.
The
Sold
10
one
ounce.
today.
Yeah. So we do have some.
I've got one today we can show. I said maybe next stream I can get it up to show.
Okay. Are delivery costs changing with the rising fuel prices? Yeah, they are. So we've actually incoming products. Absolutely, our freight with stuff coming in has gone up. Our freight for outgoing products has gone up. We haven't raised our prices at this stage. We've actually swallowed the extra cost. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do that for. So yeah, stand by on that one.
Good afternoon from South Korea.
Oh,
Hey!
nice.
We're having a conversation about South Korea this morning.
Was I part of it?
I don't think so.
All right.
That was,
I don't
that was the
remember.
royal we.
Yeah.
One of our customers was in that's from South Korea, so we're having a bit of a
Cool.
chin wag.
Very good.
Odd job asking if your comments about Perth Mint and fulfilling an international market also applies to ABC at the moment, considering a lot of stuff in the industry at the moment is pre-orders for this will be late deliveries on that.
Yeah.
Is it kind of not just Perth Mint at the moment, but also
Okay, I'm treading on toes here, so I want to be a little bit careful. I'm not speaking for ABC. I don't actually know a lot about the challenges that ABC is facing, but it seems like they're struggling with production and supplies a little bit, which is that's not a criticism of them. That's across the industry, and we'll actually touch on this in a little while during the stream. I don't know if they have big overseas commitments. I actually can't comment on that one. You got some quick questions for
here
me,
we go.
have you,
Going
mate?
to absolutely bombard you.
Okay, so we're going to do 60 questions in 60 seconds.
I don't know if it's 60. I don't know. It's 60 questions, and it probably won't be 60
don't
seconds.
put a time to it. Like
Yeah.
Quickfire.
Well,
questions.
yeah.
Start the clock.
Here we go.
How quickly can you read?
Well, you're about to find out. If you let me read, you're going to hear it. Here we go. What's happening with the Queen's Beast 2022?
Okay, Queen's Beast is finished as a series.
Tudor Beast is a new one.
Tudor Beast is the new one.
All right.
That will kick off in the next month or so.
No time. Next question. Any more update on the 2 kilo silver antique dragon tiger coin?
Yeah, it's coming very, very soon. Next month, I think it is.
Nice. I've heard it's good to convert silver into gold when silver rises to 4% of the price of gold. Is this true? And do you see customers doing this?
That's not a yes/no question.
Yeah, come on,
Quick,
Connor.
Pass.
Yeah, we'll get back
Pass.
to that one. Why have we seen a pullback in platinum this week? This is not rapid fire stuff. Come on, Connor. We're getting in. This is deep.
We've seen a pullback in it because industrially we've seen a pullback in industry because of concerns of gas and that sort of stuff through Europe mainly. So that's why that one's been hit a bit.
Okay. What does pre-decimal mean? Fractional silver or gold?
Could be either.
It's correct. So pre-decimal actually refers to in Australia prior to decimalisation, which was February 14th, 1966. So up until 1964, we were producing coinage with a silver content, which is... Next question.
Quick answers, mate.
Do you guys think there is a future where today's copper nickel coins may be traded like constitutional silver is today in the USA?
Yes.
Excellent. 5-ounce ox and 10-ounce cooks.
Mintage, that'll be referencing mintage numbers. Still haven't been released by the Perth Mint.
Has Perth Mint advised ETA on 5-ounce silver tigers?
No.
Is Smithy going to do any more buttons?
If I ask him to.
Get into it, Smithy. You're in the chat. Any more platinum releases in the upcoming weeks?
Yes. We've got one in the bag, and as soon as I get organised, it'll be released.
Cool. All right, look forward to it. Why don't you see platinum cast bars?
We've done that one.
Been there, done that. This year's Perth Mint Dragon Silver Rectangular Bars and Coins update.
Don't have an update. Red hot rumour, and it's purely gossip, is sometime in May.
Wonderful. Just did the donation dollar one earlier.
Any platinum releases in the upcoming weeks?
Yes.
We did that one.
Just put it through again. So
Wondering when you say platinum and palladium are interchangeable at roughly 1-to-1, is that by mass or by volume? As density is so different, it makes a huge difference.
It certainly does, and I'm not an industrial chemist, so I'm going to sidestep that one.
Nice. Any advice or recommendations on what to store silver in? A safe? And in terms of keeping the quality of silver coins, do they need to be stored in any way, or can they be displayed?
This is not a yes/no.
Yeah, Connor needs to switch on. This is a practice run. He'll refine the questions.
This is why we said rapid fire. Just yes or no.
Yeah, so we'll take a moment. So my recommendation is a cool, dry place, generally out, or actually not generally, always out of direct sunlight.
And stable temperature.
Yes.
They don't like massively fluctuating temperatures.
Yep. So you certainly can display it, but don't display it. If it's in your office, make sure it's not at a point where you'll have direct sunlight on it. Yeah. Otherwise, if you're interested, you can get some interesting toning if you leave it in direct sunlight for a while. But not great for the collectible stuff.
I'm not a big fan of safes. I know they do keep things safe, but they really only stop the the burglar that's coming in and has no idea what's inside your house, which doesn't. I think you can achieve that better ways. My big concern with the safe is that if people know you've got a safe, they know they can't open it, so they will come in and they will force you or your family to open the safe and release what's in there. So I'm not a big fan of safes. You're speaking to a person who's got...
I was going to say, to clarify, we use safes.
Yeah, that's right. Like the company has a lot of safes, a lot of big, serious industrial
We're referring
safes.
to a domestic setting.
But in a domestic setting, I'm not a big fan. I think there are other ways to secure. But obviously, this is not storage advice.
I didn't have that one up.
You can store it however you want.
Michael, can you explain a little bit about what a fair silver to gold trade would look like? I understand the dealer has to make money. Just wondering what would be fair.
Again, this is not a yes/no. Look, the trade, you start off at the gold silver. If we're talking about the straight swap over, you start at the ratio. So I don't know what's the ratio at the moment, Rubes. I haven't looked at
74, I think.
Yeah, okay. So at about 74-1, and then obviously the dealer has to make a little bit of a profit. So he's going to move that to his favour, his or her favour. And then you've got to look at what you're trading in. So if you're trading in some mangled old crappy bar that no one's going to be interested in, we're going to have melted down, and you want to swap that for some high premium coin, you're going to find the numbers slew really, 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 really in favour of the dealer. But if you bring in some, really high premium coin that the dealer thinks, well, actually, maybe I know someone who's interested in this and they're willing to pay a bit for it, you'll find if the dealer's being fair, you'll find that they'll slew that right back towards getting back towards that ratio of, the 75-1. So the short answer is it depends on what you're swapping, what you've got to swap with and what you want to swap it for, if that makes sense.
Perfect.
There's a couple more rapid fire ones there. If you.
I've kind of sent me
easy.
If I miss any,
yeah.
Dive in. What about gold backs?
Hard to get, but we possibly have a line on them, and flaming expensive in this country.
Absolutely. Very well put. When are we going to see a video of the refinery visit?
It's a bit of a sore point at the moment. Next one.
Is the 1 ounce Bitcoin silver round you were selling on your website a genuine troy ounce of 99.9% pure silver?
The only thing I'd correct is it was 4 nines pure silver.
99.99.
Yes.
Very good. If platinum is such a pain in the ass, why is it worth so much?
I love it. Because it's useful. It's very, very useful. So lots of things are a pain in the backside, but they're still very useful. And so we pay for them.
Further elaboration.
Yeah, that's right.
Good one. When are you going to heat up some safes?
We said a while ago
we
about
are
doing a video on
actually, believe it or not, Connor and I had a conversation about this morning.
Yeah.
We need to get the world under control. So I don't know if you've noticed, but our YouTubes this week have been lacking the last week or two, a bit of content and regularity in that. We want to get that back under the control before we start doing some of these fancy things again. So it will be a month or two, but I also have to wait until fire restrictions come off before we can start torching the place. So
would not be a great look to end the video.
I don't need the police turning up at the end of the video with the fire brigade.
Last one I have here is, do Bullion Now ever do waiting lists for upcoming coins? For example, the koala kilos, kookaburra kilos, and will there be a promo about them being available the day before?
The short answer is we don't tend to take pre-orders on these things because we're never 100% sure what our allocation is going to be, when it's going to arrive, what the pricing is going to be, all those types of questions that people want to lock in. So we tend to say no. We don't tend to release information the day before. We might hint at it, like I've hinted that there's a release probably next week that people are going to be very interested in. Is going to sell out very quickly. Sometimes I can't give any more detail than that, like I can't now. But other times, particularly at the moment, we don't know when the couriers are going to deliver the product.
Oh, very.
There was a little bit of beeping in there.
Restrained, yeah.
So it's so I'm pretty reluctant to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, and also administratively, I spoke with a gentleman earlier in the week about just this issue, and he explained, and rightfully so, he said, I just want this one thing, can you just make a list? And then I had to explain that in the hundreds, thousands of people that I interact with, if I put just one thing on this list, I'd have my work cut out for me. I'd say, Michael, I'm going to have to cut all responsibilities. I'm just
focusing
I'm the list guy now.
Yeah.
It'd be a very big list.
Funnily enough, it's actually something where it's certainly not going to be introduced in the next 12 months, don't get me wrong, but it's something we'd actually like to do.
Oh, yeah, I think it'd be great.
Have that ability to say, look, I'm actually after, a 2012 Sovereign.
Yeah.
I'm actually after some of these things. So when they come in, we've actually got a database and just say, hey, look, you expressed an interest in these things.
Yeah.
We've actually got some in stock. Are you still interested? But that's for down the track. Hopefully we'll get there.
Without putting words in your mouth as well, and it's something we haven't really talked about in a while, but there's also certain forums and things like out there that you can say, hey, I'm looking for this coin, is anyone, does anyone have this available? People can then message you from there, certain offers and things like that. Yes, it's obviously not through us, it's more of a private thing, but don't forget there is a big, community of stackers out there that have some of these coins. And sometimes for the right price, they're happy to pass them on. So don't write that off as an option sometimes as well.
I have a question for you, young Matt.
Hit it.
My turn now. We had this week.
Oh,
come in.
Yeah, be gentle. You're going to rip him in half.
Now, anyone with hair my colour will know exactly what this is. Anyone with Ruben's coloured hair will have no clue what this is. Would you like to... did it focus on it?
Yeah, it did focus.
Yeah. Would you like to enlighten us? Would you like to enlighten us on what that is?
Is one of Australia's first... it's the first paper $100 note. Was introduced in 1984 and went up until I think it was 1996 when they wrapped them up. Yeah. I think they're really interesting and also, for the most part, not super collectible. They are different and very a great point of interest. But in my time spent managing a number of coin shops, I exchanged a lot of those for face value.
Yeah.
And you have Sir Douglas Mawson there, the Antarctic explorer, very well-known gentleman. On the other side, I describe this depiction as when you've just dropped an ice cream. He does not look...
facial expression.
He does not... He looks like, he's just dropped his ice cream. He went back and they said, we've actually sold out. That is John... I don't know how to pronounce the surname. I think it's Tebbett. T-E-B-U-T-T is his surname. He was an astronomer. He actually was the first president of the first British Astronomy Society in Sydney in the mid-1800s. And also was the discoverer of the Great Comet of 1861.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're full of it, aren't
Yeah. Full of something.
you? We're not sure what it is, but he's full of it.
Michael thought he'd catch you out there. But...
No, I didn't actually. Do you know one of the reasons why they got rid of this?
As in the paper?
Yeah.
Well, we were developing polymer since the mid-1970s.
Yeah, but the colouring of it and that.
No, I don't
My
actually.
generation almost brought down the financial system over it. Because with a good photocopier, a ream of reflex paper
Yeah.
and a nightclub, you could pass these off in the nightclub with the dim lighting as photocopies as $100 notes, and it was rife.
Really?
Yes.
There you go. Well,
my generation almost brought down the financial system because we were buying free drinks with photocopied $100
Your generation
notes.
has a lot to answer for.
Wasn't actually the reason I brought them on. So you're correct. They phased them out in the mid-90s. So I had a look before we came on stream at the price of gold in the early to mid-90s.
Yeah.
And I picked the very peak of it on the graph, which was give or take a little bit. It was $600 per ounce. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was the other problem. They didn't fit in your wallet.
Yeah.
$600 would have bought you one of them there things. Okay, so that's a 1 ounce. Well, we can go this way actually. We brought both over. So a 1 ounce gold bar I think that peaked at about 94, I think it was at that 600. And then it eased off. Now, people tend to panic a little bit when they see the easing off. You've got to understand at that point, all the central banks were unloading their gold stores. They no longer required them as part of their stocks. You know, Basel III was out. We hadn't hit number 4 yet, all that sort of stuff. So there was massive unloading. So there was a suppression of the gold price for about 8 to 10 years through those mid to late 90s. So the price actually did come off. I think it dropped out. I think about 392 was the lowest it got to during that period. Now, why am I boring you with all this information? Matt's right. About 1996, we went to these wonderful things that we see now, although there was one in between. You remember the one in between?
No, that was it. Straight to that.
There was the...
the 1988?
Yeah.
The bicentennial? That was a $10 note.
Oh, 100%
Come on,
right.
Michael. Switch on, mate.
This is why I keep him here.
You were around for that as well.
I was.
Yeah, no excuse.
Unfortunately. I was in high school, but I was around for it. So now, when we had the photocopyable $100 notes, 6 of them bought an ounce of gold. Nowadays, if you had 6 of the green ones, what's it going to get you?
You will get probably 10 grammer and
not
even, yeah.
So 10 gram or a quarter ounce coin is about that.
Yeah,
you know,
in that sort of neighbourhood. For
Actually,
round figures' sake, we're being a little vague, but
we're being very
for the
vague
sake of the story,
Yeah. So what I'm trying to highlight here is over time, we get people into the store and they quite often say, oh, you know, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? You know, is my money, you know, safer keeping it in the bank or in cash? You know, what do I do? This is a guaranteed loss because over time, what you could have bought with this, you can no longer buy. We're now down at this. So to give you a comparison, you know, this is what you could buy with 6 of these. Now this is what you can buy. So if you're keeping it in paper money, whether it be literally paper money or whether it be in the bank account, it is a guaranteed loss. You are going to make a loss. And history shows us that over the last 5,000 years. If you hold it in metal, yeah, the price might go up, the price might go down. And I picked the very peak price. Like I said, I'd be within a couple of dollars. It might have gone to 604 or 605 an ounce back in that 6 or 7 year period. If you'd bought it at the very, very peak, 30 years later, you'd still be far, far, far better off than if you'd gone, I'm not sure if I want to buy it. I might want to keep it in the bank account or keep it in cash sort of thing. So this is really just an example of the inflation that we're seeing now. And we've had fairly mild inflation from the late 90s through to now. We're starting to see it absolutely kick up now, don't get me wrong, and I'm not entering that argument here. But even with mild inflation, we've seen that the savings in dollars has gone down by heaps, 75% of downwards, whereas the gold, the hard asset, has kept up with that inflation. It's kept up with what you could buy back then is what you can buy now with your ounce of gold.
Good stuff. I like that segment. A little bit of a blast from the past and everything that I enjoy.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Tell me, Michael, about a new product. A new product that we've...
Oh!
Yeah.
Thinking I can't tell you about that one. I've just said we're under embargo. What are you doing to me?
Yeah, right now, off the cuff. Hit me. What do you got?
Ruben's going to show us a new product. It's actually an old product that's become a new product.
It's interesting.
It is. So this, you got it up yet,
I can put it up whenever you do.
Yeah, flip it up now while we're chatting about it. So this is a new release. So this is a Harrington bar. Now the Harrington bars have been around for a long, long time. Actually, you give us a burst on it, mate.
So Harrington's was a refinery in, I can't say the word and I'll butcher it, like a metallurgist. It's like when people try and say numismatist. That was founded in 1906 by two brothers. From what little research I've done, it was when a gentleman by the name of John Cook purchased it that it really ramped up and became a really, really large-scale business. And there was a tidbit that I thought you would really appreciate, Michael. So John Cook had earned money working in the gold fields. He used that money to learn to fly and purchase a tiger moth.
Hey! There you go.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that.
He's a good bloke.
Yeah, is this guy somehow related?
Unfortunately not.
And yeah, he purchased the company in 1945, and it was Australia's largest privately owned metallurgical firm. And they had offices in all states, as well as Hong Kong, Singapore, and New Zealand. And in the late 1970s, they were marketing around 2/3 of Australia's gold production.
Yeah.
I had no idea the scale, because I see the bars come through the we refer to them as the vintage bars. I thought based on that they were a relatively small operation and it was, a little bit of a niche type of thing. I had no idea the scale they were operating at.
They were big time, and their bars, as Matt just alluded to, the bars are very collectible bars. The older ones, you'll see them on. There's a website called
All Engelhard.
Thank you, All Engelhard, and it kind of lists all the vintage bars that are getting around. Has pictures of them and gives approximate valuations. And if you go on there, you'll actually see the Harringtons mentioned on there and the pictures and their valuations. Yeah. And they fetch quite a nice price.
They do indeed.
In the secondary market. So that's the history of it. Now we all get excited, and actually we've got one here. We've actually got one of the old silver bars here. So here you go, Rubes. I don't know if you want to put that in front of the camera. So that's one of the original silvers, 1 ounces. So they're quite a pretty little bar, and they've got great toning on them.
It's not doing it for me.
So as these things do, the company got bigger and bigger, and as Matt said, they took up about 2/3 of the Australian production.
Yeah.
Which is quite a substantial amount when you consider how much came out of Australia.
Yeah.
But in the late 90s, I think it was, they started to fade from existence and they disappeared. You actually got a date on when they...
So it was in the early 80s, it was sold to, I'm going to pronounce
Pico Wallsend.
Pico Wallsend. And there were... So my initial understanding, and I hadn't researched at the time, was that they were then acquired by the Perth Mint. But from doing a little bit of research, it was a multi-layered... There were a number of larger companies that took over and acquisitions went on. And at a certain point in time, Golden West Refining Corporation owned all of the rights and all of the assets of Harrington's, and they then partnered with the Perth Mint. So it was not as clear-cut as I had initially thought, but ultimately it ended up becoming under that umbrella.
The umbrella of the Perth Mint. Now, some very smart cookie has come along and realised that the trademark has lapsed. So they have purchased recreated that trademark, had it licensed, and are now recreating that really important part of Australian metallurgical history.
Nice, very well said.
So this is really, really good. So we're really pleased. We're not the launch customer. Well, actually, I'm not sure we're not the launch customer. Either way, we're one of the first customers to get them in, or first bullion dealers to get them in. And we're starting to distribute them. You will see them kicking around the traps. I dare say we won't be the only ones that stock them. But it's fantastic to see that part of our history, important part of our precious metal history in Australia has been brought back to life and is now being produced right here in Melbourne, and is being distributed around the world.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about seeing these. So yeah, we've got them available. They're not listed on the web. I was trying to get them up on the website before we went live, so I didn't look like a goose. But yet again, I'm looking like a goose. So they will actually be live on our website this weekend. I'll get some of that photography that Ruben's done that you've just seen, and we'll create a listing for them.
Smithy wants to know what you think it will do to the premiums of the vintage bars. Do you think it will cause more hype around them and cause them to go up, or is it going to almost saturate the market with Harringtons? And
no, I believe you'll see. I think it will promote the older market, and we'll actually see more interest and drive those older prices up. Not hugely, because they're already quite a popular bar amongst the connoisseurs.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think it'll drive that price up. I don't think you're going to see huge increases in the new stock that comes through, because they are, they can be produced, not unlimited, but there'll be certainly a decent number of them out there. So as they say, any advertising is good advertising. I can only see it as a positive.
Totally agree.
Mark's made a good point in referencing it to what's happened with Engelhard. We saw a little bit with that as well. There was almost some new batch stuff that came through. And I think it kind of had that same effect of just awareness more than anything.
Yeah, it's like Marvel. Each time they do a new Spider-Man film, the first ever comic sells for $1 gazillion because it's at the forefront of everyone's mind. So, yeah, I totally agree.
Useless piece of information. Used to have the first edition Phantom comic.
I had a feeling you were going to say Phantom, because my old man was mad into Phantom as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think he may have had a first edition as well. I probably destroyed it at some point as a child, but
useless.
Adam's got a good question there.
Yep.
Why are the silver 1 ounce bars not cheaper than silver Kanga coins? Cheaper to make, aren't they?
No. So the Kanga, you'll hear me. I say it online. I say it in the store. I say it on the phones. I say it on email. Coins are always more expensive than bars, because they are always more expensive than bars, except for the silver kangaroo. And we're not going to tell the Perth Mint that they're undercharging for them, but effectively they are. The thing is, they can produce them cheaply because they have a big machine that they pour. It's not quite as simple as this, but effectively they pour the silver granules in one end and it spits out the coins the other, and they can produce a gazillion of them a day. So they are really, really cheap. They don't change the design every year, other than the year gets changed to this year obviously it went to a number 2.
Yep.
So they are just a mass-produced thing. Whereas these cast bars that you see that Ruben just showed then, they are still hand poured. They are, they're a more labour-intensive production. So with the 1 ounce gold, there's enough margin there that you can actually. The coins are always going to be dearer than the bars, because there's let me walk that back a little bit. There's less coins made. They're slightly more labour intensive to make in a coin than a bar, so the bar is going to be cheaper. But in the silver, in this unusual example, there's very little human effort in producing those Kanga coins, so they are much cheaper to actually produce than the 1 ounce bar.
I'm sure the designer's thrilled to hear how little effort goes into his pride and joy. But we'll also note, it's worth noting that as a rule, they generally don't come encapsulated. So the Kookaburra, the Koala, a lot of the other 1 ounce coins come in a capsule from the mint, whereas the Kangaroos are just a loose coin. It is very much a volume thing with the Kangaroos.
People would like to know what we're charging for the Harringtons as well. Because we hyped them up a bit.
That's probably a good
told
question.
What they're going to be going for.
I'm the foggiest.
Watch this space.
They will be somewhere around about the Perth Mint price-ish, give or take $1 or $2, would be my guess. Somewhere in there. Freedom Family, think you miss. I don't know what's going on there. We need to talk about some shop gossip and some industry gossip.
We do indeed.
We're running out of time a little bit on that.
Yep.
Rubes, do you want to kick us off on the shop gossip, or do you want Matt to take it?
I think Matt and I's experience have probably been fairly similar lately, where we, over the last little bit, it's trying to scrounge together to see what we can sell people at the moment. It's been a lot of people looking to buy gold and silver at the moment, and that's it. As we kind of alluded to a little bit before, there's very much certain I'd say more production issues rather than supply issues. But yeah, we're having some fun times getting stuff through in the quantities we need. And that leads to some very interesting times in the shop where we want to sell all that we can to people, obviously, but we've got to have it through to sell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the website is looking a little sparse, and that's it. When you're calling up Matt or emailing him and saying, "Hey, what can I buy?"
Yeah, so I have to say, currently as it stands, the pickings are a little slim, but I have to say that rest assured, in the coming weeks, I'm expecting, if everything were to come through that's currently on order, in either rapid succession or in one batch, I'm anticipating a video somewhat akin to that wild unboxing when all four of us were tearing into boxes all simultaneously. Yeah, and moving around the room with the camera. I hope that we get the opportunity to get a decent batch all in one hit and can do an impressive unboxing. So
that's the other thing I'd say as well, because I've seen a few comments of people saying, "Oh, are you still going to be getting these in or that in?" A lot of those kind of staple products, like things like the 1 ounce silver kangaroo and the gold 1 ounce, but I'd say both the kangaroo. But we are trying our best to get them in. It's not like we've decided, hey, we suddenly don't like the 1 ounce silver kangaroo anymore. We're only going for these overseas coins. It is absolutely still on our list to maintain those kind of staple coins.
We are actually maintaining those staple coins. The problem is they are selling either as fast as we can get them in, or I would suggest even faster.
Yep.
So we are due. I actually expected the delivery in before we hit the live stream, but it hasn't arrived yet. But we're due a delivery of kangaroos today, and I believe that most of those kangaroos have already been pre-sold.
Yep.
So I am pushing the shop a little bit here, but I'm actually not meaning to. Where, don't forget, you can actually pre-order and prepay for what you're after, and that way you lock in today's price. So if spot price doubles overnight, well, you've already locked it in. It's all good. It just may be that we can't get it to you for a week or two while we're waiting for the supply coming in. So we are hitting major across the industry. This is not Bullion Now only. Across the industry, supplies are getting tougher and tougher. And it's not that the refineries and that aren't producing it. They are producing it. It's that the demand on it is humongous, and the supply chain is letting us down as well. So, it's hard work at the moment.
Yep.
If you're after a kilo of silver, absolutely we can supply you with a kilo of silver. If you're after a PAMP 1 kilo silver bar, you might have a lead time. Well, PAMP's probably a bad example because you've probably got a lead time of 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But if you're after a Perth Mint, we've got Perth Mints in at the moment. But if we didn't have them in, you might find it's a lead time of a week or so for us to actually get them in at different times. So they're absolutely still producing them. The numbers are just huge. We had half a ton arrive the other day. I don't think it lasted 2 days.
Yeah, might have 200 grams left.
Yeah,
of
that was half a ton of Perth Mint only. I'm not talking about the locally produced and the PAMPs and all the other brands we stock. That was Perth Mint only. And the half a ton arrived. I reckon at least a third of it, but I'd say closer to 2/3 of it went straight out the door on pre-orders.
Brent here makes a good point that I think a lot of people are curious on. How can we pre-order if you don't have a list of what people want? I think a lot of other websites have like this is the stock page of it, this is, this is what you can pre-order kind of thing. We've kind of shied away a little bit of that because we've touched on before that it kind of irritates us sometimes when websites will have up a product that they don't actually have in stock, and so you're searching for this product and a website has it but it doesn't really, and how do people get on that pre-order?
Phone us up. Either drop by the store. So if you're in Melbourne, level 6, 227 Collins Street, give us a call 1300 84 84 10 and talk to the always smiling Matt. Or send us an email, sales@bullionnow.com.au, and we can organise an invoice, tell you exactly when it's coming in. So we'd like to have that conversation with you of, please understand, it's not us sitting on your money, it's us waiting for them to actually arrive, and that's outside our control. So we'd prefer to have that full conversation with you. But it's also...
let me help you out here. So when I generally speak with people on the phone and they're wanting to do a pre-order, I will generally, if I am doing it, I'll explain the setup, that there is a lead time of X amount of days or a few weeks. But it's, in my experience, I tend to only do it if it's something like Perth Mint kilos. Like what I would describe as our bread and butter products. It doesn't extend to, there's a completer coin or something from the Royal Mint or something we know will be massively limited. I'm not doing pre-orders for that type of thing. It's more the standard products that we always try and maintain a steady supply of. But in times like these where freight is a little backed up, we know it's coming, but we're just waiting on an update because it's on its way or it's just about to get put on a truck. So it doesn't extend to all products in general.
It also, the other part of the conversation that we need to have with people, and just being open and honest as we try and be, is that even though you're pre-ordering and you may not see the product for a fortnight or 2 or 3 weeks even, we need payment up front. So, and people think, if I order it online, I'll pay for it when they tell me it's there. It can't work that way, because to lock in spot, it works its way down the food chain. The refineries won't let us lock in today's price, unless we pay for it straight away. And they're the same, with their suppliers into the refineries. The mines won't supply it to the refiners unless they pay for it today. So that expectation is, it's not a pre-order of, I'll pre-order 100 kilos and let me know when it's in and I'll pay for it. No, you pre-order 100 kilos or even a kilo, whatever we're talking, and you pay for it today, and we lock the price, and now that's locked in. Because it does happen where people lock in a price and price doubles and they expect us to honour it, which we absolutely will. If we lock in a price and you pay for it, I don't care what happens to spot price in the meantime, we will honour that price. But it goes the other way, and we have had occasions where people have said, hang on, spot's dropped $10 a kilo, I don't want to pay for it anymore. Well, that's great, but we've committed to and locked in a price, we've paid the refinery, now we've got to take the loss. And that's a quick way of going out of business.
Absolutely.
So that's why they're not listed on the website like that, because we have to have this conversation with people, so everyone understands where they're standing with it.
We're running a bit on for time. Is there something, I've said we're talking global events. Is there anything you want to touch on globally?
Do we really want to do this?
It's entirely up to you.
I don't know. All right, throw it up.
Twifty's arm.
The last couple of, this is I don't want to be accused of harping on things, but there's things that are happening in the world that affect the industry, that affect us as individuals as well. So I'm going to summarise this as, are you really sure it's your money? Or are you still sure it's your money? So this is out of the New York Times. This was an article printed in the very recently. So Switzerland says it will freeze Russian assets, setting aside a tradition of neutrality. And I'm not going to read the article. I encourage you to go and read it. It's quite. I think we've got the link to it on there somewhere.
I haven't got the link, but it's got the full title of the thing, so you should be able to find it fairly easily from there.
So effectively what's happening is Switzerland has decided that, and again, as I keep as I keep saying before I do these things, this is not a political statement. This is how it relates to you and precious metals and your investments. Switzerland, which has had a history for many, many, many years, so centuries, of being neutral, they will take anyone's money and they will look after it for you, pretty much completely anonymously until very recently. Everyone knows the rumours of the numbered Swiss bank accounts and all that sort of stuff, and it hasn't mattered what sort of citizen you are. They've opened it to all, which I actually fully support. Whether you're a law-abiding citizen that just wants to park some money in Switzerland, or whether you're the biggest despot out there, Switzerland have not turned their back to you at all, and they have traditionally, going over many, many, many years here, they've stored your wealth for you, and it has always been accessible wherever you are around the world. And they have, like I said, until very recently, not even allowed other governments to know what is going on with your money. That's changed. So a few years ago, they were backed into a corner and they started actually releasing certain information to overseas countries. This article actually concerns me on a far higher level. Now, again, I want to really, really emphasise here that I am not making any political statements about what's going on in the world from a politics point of view and whether it's fair or not. What I'm actually referring to is what's happening in the world in relation to you. So we've seen what's happened in Canada with the truckers and what's gone on over there. We've seen what's happened in the UK with the laws they're passing about how they can, if they don't like you, they can just confiscate your assets and not give you any compensation at all. And just to step back to the Canadians for a second, they've even taken it a step further, and I think the POMs have as well, but I might stand corrected on this part, where private companies are now doing this and they're not held accountable for it. So, there is no accountability. If it goes to court and they're proven to be incorrect, they walk away scot-free and you still suffer the consequences. Switzerland has now joined this. So they've given up their generations of neutrality to say, actually, we don't like what's going on. We're going to start confiscating the assets of countries and people, not even the politicians. We're talking private citizens of those countries. We're going to start confiscating their assets. Are you still sure that your money is your money when it's in the banking system? And I know I'm harping on this, and yeah, okay, I'll admit I'm a bullion dealer. I have a vested interest in this. That's a given, okay? But what I'm saying is, read, see what's going on in the world. And I'm going to tell a story about one of our guys that occurred this week. So one of our employees was down at the bank, banking, the takings for the day, and a gentleman next to him was trying to withdraw $9,000 in cash. He's over 18, as far as we're aware, and certainly the bank didn't say otherwise, and the teller and the guy were getting quite animated and quite excited. There's no mental health issues. There was no reason that this person couldn't take out their money.
No identity or anything?
No, he could prove his ID. He had his ID there. Everything was above board. The bank refused to allow him to withdraw his money. He was after $9,000. They said they had to phone APRA, which is the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, which is the government organisation that oversees the bank. They said that they had to phone APRA to get permission for this guy to take his own money out of an Australian bank. This happened here in Melbourne, out of an Australian bank. And then he changed it, like they phoned, they got approval. It sounds like a tentative approval for this $9,000. They were still giving him a hard time. And then he said, actually, I want to take out $10,000. And they just about had a meltdown over it. And the guy's saying, this is my money. I've been banking here for over 20 years. I've never had a problem before. Why all of a sudden I've rolled in today to take out this money? Why are you saying no? It's my money. And I think that the object of that exercise was to prove that actually that may be a misnomer. It's not actually your money. So we're seeing...
interested to know as well with the people watching in chat, and obviously don't disclose, exactly how much you've been whatever as well, but we see that quite a bit with our customers, obviously, because the amount of money involved and things like that. I'm sure there's a lot of people in chat that have at least had to have a similar conversation like that, even if the bank hasn't refused, but even starting to see some of those hurdles start to appear more frequently.
So again, we're not commenting on politics. We're not commenting on conspiracy theories. This is actually fact. This is what's happening out there. And if you do the reading, Read your New York Times article that we flicked up. Go back, look at what's happening in Canada, what's happening in the UK. These aren't conspiracy theories. These are presenting as facts. They're no longer theories. And if you want to test the Australian banking one, go into your local branch and say, actually, I'd like to take out X thousand, and see how they react. Now, some of the branches are really, really, really good about it. But more and more, we're getting more reports from our customers saying, actually, I had trouble getting cash out to make this purchase today. So just be aware of what's going on around you and what's happening, okay? That's all. I'm sounding like I'm making this a real big deal, and I'm not. It's still lighthearted and life's still good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, just be aware of what's going on around you.
Very well put.
We're happy with that.
Yeah. A gentleman named Mark, and as an abrupt sidestep. So he popped up in the chat, and he'd emailed earlier today. He wanted to see a 10-ounce locally produced. Oh, you're really
you're pulling me right out of the hole here.
Well, you can dig back in if you like, but I didn't want to forget because he did pop up in the chat and he had asked earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So here's one we prepared earlier.
Yeah. You want to do it?
Yeah, sure. This is a. Oh, do I need a glove? That is the question.
You'll be okay on this one.
Just in case. I don't want to upset anyone. It's actually a really, really nice finish. I haven't had a good look at one of those. I don't know if we can. Yeah, I might need your help here. Yeah, sorry.
The entire.
And I don't exactly have the hands of a surgeon either. This might be a little shaky.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna take it. I'll grab it by the sides.
That's now a shop sample.
Yeah, there you go.
Or if you're really lucky, you might get one in the post that's got Ruben's fingerprints on it.
Yeah.
Pay extra for that.
A rare variety type.
That's right, an error bar.
It's been enhanced.
We've got some emails as well. So this one's from Brett. Have a question in relation to the increases of premium lately. You've spoken about Perth Mint starting to raise their premiums, other things such as US Eagles having a large increase, etc. In your opinion, is this due to an ever-increasing interest in precious metals? As I don't believe it would be due to any shortage around the world. Is this also going to be an ongoing event, or do you think the premiums will come down a little? You want to make a comment on that at all?
I wasn't paying attention. I'll be completely honest with you. My mind, I was elsewhere.
Mate!
Just for a moment, you're going to have to feel this one. Yeah. I'll try and get my bearings again.
Look, premiums are going up because of the increase in interest, yes. Part of the premium increase is larger refineries and that sort of thing trying to control demand. So if they increase the price a bit, then demand drops a little bit. But also it's a case of we've got it, you don't, so we're going to charge a little bit more because we're the only people that you can come to. That's not Bullion Now saying that. That's the refinery saying that. We are really tied, our premiums are really tied to the refineries around the world. So there is a little bit of that going on. There is also an increase in premium because there is an increase in cost. I don't care what they say. Inflation is not running at 2 to 3%. It is running far higher than that. So you are going to see, any refinery is going to have an increase in, in fuel costs, in power costs, in, interest rates going up, in all these sorts of things. All their costs are going up, and they're running a business, so they're going to pass those increases on in increased premiums. So yes, we are going to see increased premiums for a few reasons. Do I think they will come back? Yes, I do. Do I think they'll come back to where they were? Absolutely not. We are in for, it's the same as fuel, petrol prices. We've seen them go well through $2 Australian per litre. At the moment, I think they will ease back. I don't think they'll come back to the $1.50, $1.60 a litre. I don't believe we'll see that in the near to mid-term. Long term, who knows, down the track.
Absolutely.
So that's my answer to that question.
The reason I lost my train of thought, Mark had also asked, I think I already know the answer, but I thought I'd raise it with you. He was curious as to whether or not customers could redeem unallocated holdings with Bullion Now in order to purchase little coin shop products.
Oh, please don't.
Don't put me in it, because I know what the answer should be, so hit it.
The short answer is no, because the paperwork's horrendous. The longer answer is if you really, really, really need to, and you're really, really, really nice to us, I usually give in.
Michael gets...
They know it's because they're not being nice enough. You just dug us a hole there.
Yeah, Michael...
If we say no, it's because Ruben doesn't think you're being nice enough.
Yeah. Matt and Ruben are unable to do that paperwork.
We'll pass all the paperwork on to Michael, and you'll receive a response in a couple of months. Maybe.
Well, it's getting a bit like that, isn't it? I apologise for my tardy replies to anyone who's waiting for a reply from me directly. Last email that I've got here, question for YouTube. Is there anything stopping citizens of Australia from using silver bullion as a form of money or for barter, by which reasserting their right to privacy? There is nothing that I'm aware of that would stop you. Yeah. And in fact, if you get a 1 ounce kangaroo, for the sake of the... Actually, I've got a 1/4 ounce tiger here. Not that you do this, and I'm not suggesting you do this, but it has a face value, 1/4 ounce. Help me, Rubes, I haven't got my glasses on.
It's $25.
$25, so it actually is currency. There's no reason why you couldn't use it. Obviously, you wouldn't. But yeah, look, there was a coffee shop around us that not that long ago, there's new owners there now, where they would actually take, we'd rack up a bit of an account and we'd pay the account at the end of the week or the end of the month with silver or gold, whichever they kind of wanted. I know we've had different tradies do work for us in various forms, and we've paid them out in silver or gold until very recently. And Dave, I'm still cranky with you. We had a butcher that used to supply me with meat or butcher our meat for us, and he would take payment in silver.
Really?
But the mongrel's bought himself a camper van and he's cruising his way around Australia. So he's no longer doing it. I'm still upset about that.
Any butchers in the chat, get in touch.
That's right. But
David Bell said this is not little coin shop advice. Sorry, going back to this.
That's right. So absolutely, there is no reason why you can't do it. Barter your socks off. And we quite often find in the shop where we have, people come in and they're buying bullion, and as you're chatting away, they'll say, "Oh, I'm a sparky," or "I'm a mechanic," or I had one the other day that was an air conditioning guy. And I said, "Oh, would you take, don't jump on me, Ruben, would you take payment in, in precious metal?" Absolutely, I would. Yeah, I'm quite happy to take payment in gold or silver or platinum, those sorts of things. I made the comment to Ruben because he's complaining about our air conditioning in the shop at the moment.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah,
that's right. So, so you're actually absolutely free to do it, and if anything, I would encourage you to do it.
There's a Richard Woods here that says hello, but I recognise that picture as being Calypso Moon, so I think Calypso might have
the picture. Sorry, I don't know what we're talking about.
The profile picture attached. I think it may be Calypso avoiding his tax. you got to change the picture as well, mate. Unless I'm completely wrong, in which case, just hello.
Daniel Germano, who's our legendary. I keep saying he's ours. He's actually not ours. He works for himself, but he's the jeweller that does the silver dice that you will see go up on the web again over the weekend, because he just dropped in a load to us. But he says his local butcher takes gold. So there you go.
Oh, well, so there are butchers around. There you go.
There are people that do that take the payment that way.
Perfect.
Anything else we need to chat about? Any questions that are jumping out?
We're coming up to an hour and a half.
Yeah, well, this is actually, it's been a good stream, a good, robust stream.
Yeah.
Nothing else comes to mind. What about the week ahead? Any excitement, any major plans this upcoming week of YouTube videos or anything like that that the viewers should be aware of?
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things coming up over the next couple of weeks, actually. So I've hinted at it a couple of times now, but there's a release coming next week.
Yep.
That we are the Australian exclusive for. So really excited about that.
Very good.
People are asking about a special. I feel like we've got...
Look, I probably need to actually make a comment on the special. We do specials on these live chats, but the live chats aren't about the special. So if you're only tuning in for the special, you're going to get bored sometimes, because this is us. See this as a mockumentary of a bullion discussion.
The Office Bullion Edition.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got to do occasional zoom in.
So, there's not going to be specials every week. We're not going to do that. But we will do them sometimes. We'll do promos. We'll do different things. So if you're tuning in for that, you're going to be disappointed at different times.
And we'll try, I guess in saying that, we'll try to, wherever practical, announce it in advance, perhaps, in the week leading up to that particular live stream, because, I don't like the idea of people being disappointed, but I like to think that it's a good environment to have a chat. You got any questions? You want to just get an update on the industry? I particularly, prior to working in the industry, I was always fascinated to hear anything from anyone in the industry from the outside looking in. It was always fascinating. So hopefully we can go some way as to pulling back the curtain at the Wizard of Oz and you see how things work. Good fun.
How the sausage is made, as they say.
Blue Banded Bee sent through a picture a couple of weeks ago that we said we were going to show, and we didn't because we didn't get it up on stream in time. We didn't want to turn around the laptop. They sent through a picture that we wanted you to look at and react to. So haven't forgotten about it. We may have to leave it till next time so I can probably get it up on screen. But yes, that was perfect, and we'll look forward to showing Michael.
Very good.
So next week there'll be a release from us. Most of my week is going to be taken up chasing stock and couriers, I suspect.
Very good.
And tearing my hair out. How about you?
Probably the same, but one step further along in the chain.
What about privately? You're going on holiday?
No, I just got a Dyson today. That was pretty exciting.
Dyson what?
A vacuum.
Oh, cool.
I got the V15. It may or may not be clear from watching me on the channel, but I get pretty into things, and I went deep.
No.
I went deep down the rabbit hole of vacuum cleaners, and the Dyson came out on top. So, I decided to push the boat out. Moved into the new house. Decided.
Oh, that's right.
It's time to get a new vac.
Yeah, happy with the new house and the passion fruit?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, we've got a passion fruit vine. It's good. Life is good, as you say. I wouldn't have it any other way. So good fun.
Good stuff. I don't think I told you I went on holiday last weekend.
You're joking?
No.
Really?
Yeah, went down Inverloch with the family for the weekend.
Nice.
So
it's important to do those things from time to time.
So this weekend I'll probably be unpacking because I still haven't finished unpacking from the weekend.
Good stuff.
All good. I think we're done. What do you reckon, Rubes?
That's it.
You want to throw anything in there?
There's probably something really, really obvious that we said we were going to cover that we haven't, but we'll attack it next week if we haven't.
So as always, thank you for tuning in. It is an incredible honour to have you guys share your time with us. Next week will be, I don't know what the date is next week, and my computer's just updated to whatever it is, number 11. I can never find anything.
The 1st.
The 1st of April.
It's going to be a very, very interesting stream.
April Fool's Day. This could be interesting. So tune in, April Fool's Day.
It's actually happening.
Well, it's subject to chaos in the shop. It will happen. We will be here 2:30 Australian Eastern, and I think it's the last one for daylight savings. I think we go off daylight savings that Sunday, I believe. So tune in. 2:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time on the 1st of April. You will see this always smiling face here chatting away about the more numismatic side of life. I'll be here, making dopey comments in the corner. I'll have Ruben hiding behind the camera. Connor, wherever he's disappeared to today, I know he's had his hand on the pulse, but I can't see him here at the moment. So don't forget, send through any questions you've got that you want answered on live stream. So live@bullionnow.com.au. They don't have to be written. If you'd like to do a voice recording and send it through to us, we'll play that on the stream.
Yeah.
If you'd like to take a video recording, we can play that with your question on it. We'll play that on screen as well. If you'd like it to do it but stay private, we can either blank you out or change your voice or even just read it out for you, whichever way you go. We are very privacy conscious here, so don't stress about that. If you don't want to appear, you certainly don't have to. But that's live, LIVE, @bullionnow.com.au if you'd like something through there. Or you can phone Matt, 1300 84 84 10. Loves a chat, so even if you're just bored for the afternoon, pick up the phone, give us a call, have a yarn.
Gee whiz. Within reason, please.
We're not a counselling line yet. Ruben's cringing in the corner. Don't forget, we're at level 6, 227 Collins Street in Melbourne. Come and see us. All restrictions are off as far as visiting us goes. So come on down. The water's fine.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Yeah, and sales at Bullion Now. If you've got any sales inquiries, .com.au obviously. What have I forgotten?
I think you've blitzed it.
Oh, we haven't mentioned not Twitter.
We've got TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emma, we forgot to mention TikTok.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how do we get on? How do we reference TikTok?
I don't know much about TikTok. I was
Great.
uploading.
So you've got
content.
the two Neanderthals at the front promoting a TikTok
I imagine
channel.
you just search Bullion. Maybe that's a video we'll do at some point.
How to find Bullion Now.
How do you work out TikTok? You know?
We'll put it on TikTok.
That'd be a good video, like for the mockumentary. Matt and Michael work out how to actually navigate TikTok. But I imagine you search Bullion Now, all one word, see what happens. If we pop up, bonza. We got Instagram. I think we have Twitter. Apparently we have Twitter.
And we have Facebook.
Beautiful.
And YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. Here we are. 18,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's good fun. And we also have the website, obviously, bullionnow.com.au. So I think we've covered everything. I think we're just rambling now.
Yep, that's it.
So that's it.
Yeah, shut it down, Ruben. We're not going to stop.
We'll see you again next week.
All right, see ya.